Humans make 35,000 decisions a day. 95% are irrational. Why is everyone irrational? We have the explanation of how and when this happens. Are you irrational or just human? Irrational humans, where I talk about body language, micro-expressions, behavior economics, behavior science, neuroscience, consumer behavior, persuasion, influence, how people make decisions, irrational behaviors.
Most people think that I was crazy, well, for many reasons, but in this case, when I says, do you know there is a correlation between rats, addiction, environment, and the pandemic? Bear with me, let me explain you why.
Your face isn't just for selfies. Here's how it controls your life, from love to power. Understand how your face shapes your opportunities. Unlock the secrets of your face and start winning more.
Welcome back, my dear irrational human. Do you know what? Around 1960s and 70s, a lot of experiment with psychedelia and drugs was done. Actually, in all the world, the 50s, 60s, and 70s were the most productive years for human behavior in psychology and experimentation. During the 80s, they determined they were not correct. Topic for another podcast. But I want to talk about an experiment done in 1970 by the Canadian psychologist Bruce Alexander. What he did, he put a rat in a cage with two dispensers of water. One dispenser have morphine with water and the other dispenser have only water. Guess what? The rat that was on this cage with only the two water dispensers drink the water with morphine to the point the overdose didn't stop. Now, he says, well, it doesn't look good. What about if we change the environment, we give him to the rat, the next rat, more friends and entertain it? Let's see what happens. And this experiment is known as the rat pack. What happened? Initially, he put another rat in a cage with enough water with morphine, but not to kill her, not to the point the rat can commit overdose, suicide by overdose. So then, when the rat was hooked on morphine, he moved the rat to a cage with this environment. Another rats, the two dispensers with morphine, water, entertaining, toys, little trees, things that change the environment completely. Guess what happened? The rat stopped drinking the water with morphine, start drinking regular water, and recover. So one of the things that happened with the pandemic is the isolation, the increase of alcohol and drugs, and the suicide for omission. That's how I call it, due to this. Now, can you imagine what isolation do to people emotionally? So what I'm talking about is, we're talking about environment and isolation physically, but the worst isolation a human being can have is to be surrounded by people and feel alone. And that is how many people feel in companies, how many people feel in relationships. That is the worst feeling of loneliness. And today we have another pandemic where people doesn't know how to interact with other people. So the next time that you feel alone, that you feel depressed, or you feel lean to do things that you shouldn't be doing because they're not good for you, remember, Dr. Alexander on the 70s already found out a solution for that. You have a 1-800 number that you can call, or I'm sure you have a friend in your phone that you can say, hey, let's go for a walk or coffee. Or sometimes your friend can be a podcast or an audiobooks and a walk on the park and feel integrated. It's not where you are, is who you surrounded by yourself. So if in your company you feel alone, if you're a manager and you feel that people is dropping, sometimes what you need to give them is encouragement to let them know they're not alone. There is a huge correlation between drugs, isolation, depression, and environment. Change your environment and you can change your life. My dear irrational human, we don't need to be irrational anymore.
Susan Ibitz is a former political influence consultant, profiler, and civilian hostage negotiator. With expertise, studies, and masters in human behavior, behavior economics, neuroscience, and a nerd for data, Susan works on the humans that grow your business. High performance, high behavior training. Teach corporations and employees how to hack into humans using behavior, neuroscience, and persuasion. Behavior economics. She has been called freaky and the top expert in her field by the Chicago Tribune and Psychology Today, by showing how to profile anyone in 30 seconds. She is the author and researcher of Irrational Humans. People make 35,000 decisions a day, and 95% are irrational. But why and how?